Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to the third installment of our Dacia campaign, where we are now in a somewhat commanding position. We've conquered all of Dacia and annihilated the rival factions that were once our competition. Simultaneously, we have gone into Panonia, and we've actually conquered a kink. It's not necessarily an all-important settlement, but it is definitely an improvement in our disposition and in our position here on the campaign map. Our army has improved, our economy has become somewhat substantive. Just in general, we are pushing forward with a vengeance against our foes and becoming somewhat of a powerful faction, although not too strong. Don't get me wrong, I'm not getting ahead of myself here. Dacia is not a particularly powerful province to have under control, at least in early game Rome 2. The vast majority of the settlements have a low population, well, especially Zermezagatuza, because I sacked it. But regardless, boys, we are in a far better position than we were earlier in the campaign, and we're now able to actually utilize the resources of Dacia against our foes. Now, I've chosen to fight these Celts because they were at war with one of our Dacian rivals, the Puli, and they were in a kind of a weak position. But and also, our armies aren't particularly good. Any army that's dependent on light spearmen to make the backbone of our army in early game, I find are kind of easy pickings. So, I just kind of rushed them with my Falxmen, and I cut those spearmen to ribbons. Let's see what else is going on over here. There's an alliance going on between the Nori and the Boii. Considering that the Boii are right over here, the Nori are here, it might be bad news for me if they gang up on me, but as of right now, I don't really see such a thing happening, so I can kind of chill out. Now, this army is within, what, like a turn of being fully retained? 2 turns? Still 2 turns, even if I put this guy inside of the settlement. Although I could do a little trick here where I combine these two, disintegrate this one, and then I can just recruit a new Falxman to replace its predecessor. Simultaneously, I'll bring this army near a kink and I'll put them in a nice patrol region stance so we can try to get the number of these people, you know, try to put these subjects properly under our heel. I feel like how that revealed the area. It's kind of cool. Simultaneously, I don't really see a lot of opportunity to do much this turn. I have been trying to establish trade relations with this faction. They seem to be kind of elusive. The Boii, they don't really want to trade with me, even though they have nothing wrong with me. But to be fair, barbarians are usually a little bit hesitant to open trade relations, so it's nothing unusual, although it might mean the Boii want a kink, which why not? Who doesn't want a kink? Such a progressively named settlement that I'm not surprised that people are eyeing it up seductively, you know? With those eyes, with those F-me eyes. God, I gotta get a degree in professional yapping, bro. I can talk completely out of pocket about absolutely nothing. But regardless, our army will be fully formed in Petrovada. It's a pretty decent army for the early Dacia. Like, I can't really think of a better composition here. Like, you have your skirmish component, you have your heavy hitting Falxes, you have a couple of noble spears to kind of patrol the flanks and make sure that you can't be easily exploited there, and you have some cavalry presence, although not too much. I think that we have a decent army assembled here, and I'm gonna go and dive into Panonia's capital region in order to try to make use of it. Simultaneously, I can drag... Actually, a kink doesn't have a garrison that's capable of withstanding a uprising. Maybe for like 1 turn it is. If I bring these guys down, then we will be at Singadun within a turn, so I think that that's pretty much ideal. Can use the 2 armies to quickly besiege and end this faction once and for all. Simultaneously, I do want to establish good public order here, and I'm hoping that really reversed the tidings of public dissent in Dacia, although it did basically bankrupt me. Not surprised. But there we have it, boys. These guys are kind of repositioning to try to take us on, but truthfully, they are kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place in the most realist way possible. We'll get this army within striking range. I mean, the thing is that if I attack this army, with these guys, they can't really help out. But you know what? If I besiege them, then these guys are locked into settlement.
We cannot. Besieging settlement for the tribe.
That's interesting. Now, okay, let's withdraw here. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Well then, that actually worked out a lot worse than I thought it would, man. I was just trying to find like I was trying to get these two armies to attack these guys, but couldn't get it done, and now we're in a way worse position. Let's see. What's the next tech here? The Warhorn. Now, how do I get to the Warhorn? Literally the next thing on the slot. I mean, I kind of want it. Honestly, I'm going to horn it up, dude. I'm going to get the Warhorn. I think it's advantageous for sure. Meanwhile, I mean, the spy is from this faction, so it makes sense that they're here. And I got no money, so there's actually nothing else I can really do other than hope for the best. They could... Literally, Viscorsi have the ability to attack either of my armies with everything that they have. We're within range of our garrison. Of course, we can retreat, but then we still have our main armies, of course, and one of them is strong enough to defeat my smaller army. At least that's my belief. So we might be in for a rude awakening. If they attack my bigger army, then things are going to be kind of good, you know? Things are going to be very much to my advantage. I mean, I'll fight all of them. And that's what they do. They attack my bigger army. Like I said, I'm gonna fight everyone. I'm no coward. Dacian pride. Dacian freaking pride, dude. We're gonna get in there with our Falcons. We're gonna get in nice, close, and personal, and we're gonna skewer these pathetic Celtic rabble. Now, admittedly, it looks like this is a battle with a lot of choke points as well, so I might be able to channel the enemy completely against one of my... What is it? What am I saying, actually? I don't have a ton of skirmishers. Like, these Sika skirmishers are short range, so I don't really consider them, like, real skirmishers, I guess. I don't know. I don't have a ton of ways to exploit the choke point other than to kind of channel the guys into my Falxmen, but the Falxmen aren't, like, a position-holding style unit, so it's not really all that effective. I know, I'll just deploy here and see what happens. I'm not going to be super picky about this. And the majority of the enemy are going to come as reinforcements anyway. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know where the enemy are mostly coming from, so... Okay, well that answered that particular question. And Celtic townsfolk means that this is the garrison. This is the garrison of Panonia. Yo, narrator, you're back? You must confront each and every one of them. Should you fail, I shall consign you to a conflagration inhabited by exceedingly mischievous creatures, to put it mildly. Well, if that's mildly, then I can't imagine what the reality would possibly be like. I don't know what creatures you're talking about. Are you talking about the stray cats and dogs of Bucharest? Because if they manage to survive in a hellscape such as Bucharest, then I'm afraid of those cats. That's all I'm gonna say. They must have psychopathic instincts for capable of surviving. No, far worse. So, an unimaginable foe. Because I can't imagine worse. Speaking of worse, though, look at this massive Celtic rabble. Should we just charge them with our Fauxes to show them what a Dacian man is capable of? Show them that money-making savviness that gets you laid? Should I? I think I pounce on these fools. I think I do, particularly because the enemy appears to be like completely honed in on like positioning their army, so I think that we can exploit their lack of settledness and just push forward here. Of course, I do have to be wary of the enemy archers because my Falxmen, they have close to no armor and they have no shield, so they're just getting shredded by these bows. Alright, I will read your comment soon. Just need to focus up on this battle right now, my buddy. I need to give these men a taste of their own damn medicine. I read part of it and I'm already... I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating what's to come. Looks like a funny ass comment. Okay, let's see. Okay. Obviously the Celts are gonna retaliate with their own cavalry. Celts were notoriously a well-mounted people. But we did manage to upend a lot of enemy skirmishers, so it was a worthwhile charge, but I need my cavalry to retreat properly. Some of them are just caught up in these fights. And we'll get our Dacian noble swords into the fray here as well. I need my infantry to commit themselves to fighting the enemy cavalry. The Falxmen will do really well against cavalry. They're not like anti-cavalry units or whatever, but they can play that role. Oh my god, my Falxmen have gotten eviscerated. Enemy skirmishers are putting in work, dude. Okay, I need to get my Dacians to move. I don't understand what they're doing, really.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Come on, boys. Go in and fight. Don't be cowards. Okay, where are my spearmen? Okay. There you go. My noble spears are in combat. But we need to chop these guys up here. I feel like my Falxmen haven't like properly charged in. They haven't done what they're meant to do, which is come in with a rabid fury. Okay, I see that these guys are gonna cross the river. Maybe assist? Actually, I'm not so sure. I need to go send this skirmish cavalry to go assist here, and I'll maybe send this cavalry to try to push through this gap. Get a bit of a flank there with some Falxmen, and you know what? This light cavalry, I think that we can get the better of it. Oh, our center is broken through to enemy. Now is an opportunity to charge the enemy while they're down. Really give it to them. There we go. Our countercharge on the enemy cavalry was very successful. This unit, I don't know why they haven't like fully charged in. Oh my god, oh, this cavalry is getting absolutely shocked. They're getting shocked and rocked. Hit these guys.
Infantry! Fall! We hunger for blood. Infantry! Fearless warriors!
The only thing that I've kind of failed to do in this battle is shut down the enemy skirmish component. They've been a little bit too resilient. Lasted far too long for my own tastes here. But, I don't know. If we can just get past this general, then it's a lot of very exposed men. Nice, we finally broke through some of those spearmen of theirs. Maybe go run and kill some of this skirmish line. And while these nobles, they need to stop a lot of crap infantry there. Dude, I don't know why my Falxmen are like so spread out and not fighting together. And over on this flank, we're finally starting to break the enemy. Okay, I just need to pull some men out and then recharge them into battle. Clearly,
The enemy general is dead.
clearly things have not worked out for me on that front. Perfect. So if one Falxman, we can go chase after some cavalry, then send the rest of the infantry to actually do what they have to do. Can maybe hit a flank over here. Jeez, man, you're typing out essays. I like it.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
By the way, I do have a YouTube channel too, where I post all this stuff. So if you wanna like leave a comment, like an epic essay comment, and just confuse the crap out of people, I would absolutely love that, dude. It would be so freaking funny.
This is a shameful.
Not what I expect you to, but it would be hilarious. Alright, let's see. I mean, my nobles are holding into the fight. For whatever reason, these guys are taking on the entire brunt of my military and somehow not succumbing to their blades. But it's like the inevitable happened. Alright, let's send my cavalry to chase after some beaten foes. Then move these guys into position. Despite my terrible micromanagement,
Our men flee the field of battle.
we're still in a very much like a winning position here. And I'm just gonna chase the enemy into oblivion here. Actually, never mind. They're just gonna crack. They're gonna run before me. Like the cowards they are. I'm not having any YouTube, but I'm enjoying myself. That's all I can say. Fair enough. Fair enough. So let's see what's going on here. But denizens of Bucharest Fury community possess a peculiar enthusiasms. That means near you, clasping your limbs as they inexorably draw you towards their enigmatic pits, from which escape appears utterly elusive. If you entertain the notion that furries epitomize the most egregious manifestation of human eccentricity, I urge you to reassess your perspective. For beneath that festering pit lies an abyss teeming with far darker, more harrowing horrors, aberrations of the psyche, and grotesque manifestations of the human condition that will chill you to your very core. Pray, do not even entertain the notion of defeat. For should you falter, I solemnly assure you that your culinary prospects... Culinary? Wait, why culinary? What does this have to do with culinary? That part, everything else made sense. Prospects shall irrevocably diminish to a grotesque existence subsisting solely on insidious offerings of fury. Wait, is McDonald's that popular? Oh, okay. Okay, now I get it. Now I get it. Pray do not entertain the notion of defeat. Should you falter, I solemnly assure you that your culinary prophets out. Wait, no, I already read that. What is more, this dread consumption will be undertaken in a matter most heinous, utilizing the very orifice through which none should ever partake of sustenance, an unspeakable abomination, whereas your appetite will be forcibly sated through the exit rather than the entrance. Nay, my friend, heed the dire warning well, lest you find yourself ensnared in a nightmarish reality that defies semblance of dignity and grace. Thus I implore you, dear companion, to seize victory with unfaltering resolve, lest the specters of despair and calamity engulf your chilling embrace. They're telling me if I go to Bucharest, I'm gonna be force-fed McDonald's and fucked in the ass. That's what I'm gonna getting from this. Perhaps my interpretation is not apt, you know? It is very evident that you're a very philosophical individual, but that's what I'm getting here. I'm gonna be forcibly fed McDonald's, and my booty hole will be communally shared by the people of Bucharest and their animals. Is that perhaps what you're getting at? What the heck? I thought I killed enough of them to guarantee a victory. But alas, it appears not.
Let them cower before
Well, you know what? We've surrounded these guys, so which means that we can... You leave McDonald's of your exit rather than your entrance? Oh, okay. So my booty hole will consume McDonald's. Now I understand. No, I lost 2 Falksmen and a Noble! But I just don't... I hate, like, city siege battles with a passion, so I just didn't want to play it out. Oh, man, though. Kinda sucks. Yeah, this is a very, like, farm-based settlement. It's a very, very, very much a farm-based settlement, but you know what? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. We can just bring this army back to Dacia. I mean, it's not ideal, don't get me wrong, but it's, like, okay. We'll survive. I do really want to have this province be, like, a farm zone, primarily, so it makes sense. It makes sense for me. Makes perfect sense. But there we have it. We destroyed that particular Pannonian faction. It's a great victory. And now we will go and stare at Segestica with covetous eyes. Wait, but I don't understand though. Why would McDonald's be eating with my booty though? Is it because of the uncultured nature of Bucharest, their peculiar interests? I will be like indoctrinated into the local Bucharestian culture, which consists of people eating McDonald's with their exits rather than their entrances. Is that the way it is? Is it a common sight in Bucharest to see, like, a homeless person on the street consuming a Big Mac with their butt? I'm just curious here, okay? Because, like, at the end of the day, I do want to better understand these cultural anomalies, you know? I think it is very important for me to be able to grasp this, so, you know, I'm going to approach this with what I would consider tact and, you know, just understand it. Like, the desire to understand. Like, I don't want to be the type of person that, like, turns their nose at practices that are just beyond my comprehension, you know? I don't want to judge, you know. God. Yeah, I can't even say it. I can't even say it sarcastically. It's so stupid. It's so stupid and funny. All right, I've dismantled the Falksmen in this army because they're just too expensive to maintain. Can't really justify it in what essentially is an overpaid garrison. Now that we have defeated that army too, we should be able to better evolve this settlement, but I don't know. It's a 3 building one. Mostly Celtic culture. Could go for this type of thing. Doesn't... Yeah, I mean, it increases public order and conversion. It's a good thing, for sure. Or a watchtower, one or the other. Which means over here, probably best that I just go for more farm. And we'll just keep this, like, army stationed around here. Meanwhile, for this force... We lost a cavalry unit, I know that. And we lost a noble unit as well.
Thirsty for battle.
Could go get a course archers as well. These guys, I mean, they're not great, but they're okay. Skirmishers have better statistics for melee, which is anticipated, although the Getae Horse Archers, they have a lot of weapon damage. These guys come out with, like, little foxes, I think. And they're cheaper as well, which is a huge plus, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 foxes currently. Well, you know what? 6 falcons always makes sense. Second spear would be nice. Good little horse archer, and then we'll use the income from next turn to recruit. Most likely another falconsman, if I had to guess. Okay, turn over. Really what I have to do right now is just allow my primary army to recover, because they are sorely in need of replacement troops. And until I have a full army, I can't even contemplate expanding outwards even more. But Segestica would be my next target. Yeah, let's see what happens here, guys. Not entirely sure whether the Boei intend to attack me or something, but at the very least, that is a positive thing, bud. A very, very positive thing that the Dacian kingdom and the Macedonians are at war, although the Macedonians are expanding quicker than typically. And they're already really in the fray. I mean, they're at war with the Epirodes, who will die pretty quickly, and they should be able to best the Dacians. Dude, if the Macedonians get huge, then they're gonna probably attack me. I don't like the sound or look of that. Could be bad. Could be very, very, very bad, I'll be honest. Let's see, we have 4 cavalry units. I think another Falx. I mean, I love my Falxmen. Everyone knows I love my Falxmen. If you watch my Dacian campaign, you'd very much know that I love my Falxmen. And so Gestaca's open. I guess that these guys must be at war with someone else. I guess in Nori. Right over here. Well, that makes sense. Well, what can I say? Just wait another turn. Wait for my army to recruit more men. It is a highly damaged army right now. It's a strong army. Got a great composition and phenomenal experienced troops. Simultaneously, it's been devastated by the battles we've recently waged, so I'm not entirely convinced of its fighting abilities currently, so... Let's see what happens. Let's see what comes about here. Let's see what happens. So guess I got, you know what? As I said, man, it appears that resettlement's vacant. Now it's not, although it's hardly occupied that heavily either. Alpine shield wall spearman, eh? I mean, you know what? Like, the picture looks like a typical hoplite, but it has shield wall formation instead of hoplite, so I think it's just a regular barbarian spear. It just has a funky Greek-looking picture. It looks like we can... Like, almost every unit will be fully replenished in 2 turns, other than this one. Which I think we just merge these two, and then I just recruit a new one. Because I'm not waiting 3 turns, I can tell you that. And yeah, we'll just wait in here for a little while. I really have nothing else I can do. Yeah, we'll just get a basic field. And then... once we get enough money, we can finally invest in this.
Be welcome.
Does anybody wish to trade with me?
We have need of talk.
Nope.
The gods would be...
For a little bribe, perhaps.
We will gladly listen.
A lot of people want Dacian land. I think everybody just wants to not have treaties to kind of keep the option of invasion open. Only the Scythians, who are a little bit more worried with insular affairs, have considered and signed treaties with me. And yeah, considering that we are pretty exposed, we're right in Central Europe, surrounded by hungry factions, I can very much see why they'd wish to pounce on me at any given opportunity. I can see why, I just don't like it. And I feel like a lot of my expansion in this early part of the campaign might just end up being reactionary, you know? Like if I feel like somebody's too much of a threat, then I'm just gonna go in. It's not gonna be as much about like what I want. Well, regardless, my faction leader has had a ton of children, which is sick. You know what? We're like almost recovered here. I'm very tempted to just move on into Panonia because we should have supply lines established at this point. Epirus gone, not a surprise. We'll go do this. Encountered the Romans, no. And they should hate me too because we have, yeah, cultural aversion minus 25. Damn it. Don't like that.
Greetings, friend. I've called... You have an honest tongue.
I would like to have an agreement with the Boii, but it's not gonna happen. Dude, why is Dacio-Thracian culture going down? I don't understand. We have like 2 buildings that convey cultural influence. So bizarre, man. Not whatever. End the turn. Literally nothing I can do other than move that army. No investments to be made. No battles to be waged. Just a simple matter of movement, and that's it. But Palantava is growing nicely. My little Dacian settlement, I think it's popping up. And honestly, like, for early game, I feel like the province is pretty well developed. Like, every building is at least tier 2, often tier 3. So we're doing alright. The Panonian rebels just commit Sudoku. By the way, I know it's Sudoku, but I just like making fun of it. I like taking the piss. Now, here we go. Here we have it. Very, very quick. Very quick civil war.
Ready for battle.
Now we're back into action. Now, oh, the Nori took... I was one turn away! Oh, man. If it's already Rayetta at Noricum, that is really close to Rome. Meanwhile, the Nori are allied with two factions, the Rayeti, who are also in Rayetta at Noricum. The Boii are here to the north. So Gestica was gonna be the province that actually dictates public order, but now it's not really a possibility. Man, this Western expansionism is gonna drag me into wars I had no intention of fighting. Just looking at these units, and like, this is a very beatable army, especially because these guys are far away, and the garrison is just a newly formed thing. So, like, I could literally go and take Segestica this turn, no problem. Like, I could smack into it, take the settlement, done deal. This army is gonna come in, but what's it even made out of? Okay, it's a good army. It was Alpine shield walls, they could fight, but there's actually nothing here that's bad. Ruined this warrior, which is kind of bad because only one armor, but like, general, this is a good army. I mean, Korea over here, they're not going to attack me. They're way too far away. But Norea could go after me, and of course the Boii are here in Istrios, and they... Oh, but these guys are besieged by the Swepi. Interesting. 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 And the Swebi must also be at war with the Boii. Yeah, they are. The Boii probably have her hands full. But also, we could just bring these guys up to a kink. I was gonna go for it, dude. I was gonna go for it. Absolutely no regrets, dude. You can't regret life, you know. You can't regret life's follies. Okay, that felt fun. That felt fun, actually. Let's just go in, kill these guys as efficiently and ruthlessly as possible, which I think will be done with some catastrophic Falx charges, just some absolute bangers of Falx charges, as well as cavalry flanks. Like, the key here to breaking this army quickly will lie in morale. It won't just be in like a slow slog. My army is not even all that capable of doing anyway. So yeah, let's go ahead and try our best here. Try our best to limit casualties, so I can easily beat the next force. Do have plenty of ammunition on my Sika skirmishers, so really best that I mean, I want to hit the enemy flank with some cavalry, so let's do something like this. And like the enemy center, I can just kind of charge here. Either charge or javelin to pieces, one or the other. I see the enemy trying to push my... Okay, whenever they do something, the enemy does something like this, it means that they're just gonna rush. Which is fine, but I'm not gonna move my army here because I'd rather the enemy kind of get onto the open field where I can rush all my Falxes in at once, and then I'll just have my boys start following in. I'll get my cavalry to go and set up over here too. They can kind of go and help out. Also, I have to be a little bit wary because the enemy has a lot more unit banners than they do troops, because they have a lot of decimated garrison units that are like I mean, you can see here 30 men or whatever, right? Like, those guys are not a threat. I don't even have to think about them. Or barely have to, anyway. Yet. They have banners, so it might look a lot... Like, our army looks a lot bigger than it actually is here.
We have discovered the enemy's hidden units.
But yeah, we'll get my Falxmen here to start churning up the enemy rear. Same thing with the Sika skirmishers. What are these? Just regular infantry. This is the cavalry. And I'll be a little bit wary of these guys with my cavalry. Yeah. Oh my god, we're getting javelins here by these short sword warriors who are actually going kind of hard.
Our hidden units have been discovered.
Okay. Cavalry on cavalry, we should be dominant here.
Our general is under attack.
Perfect. Okay, simple frontal charge with the Falxers should suffice. We'll bring in the Sika skirmishers from the rear. Enemy short swords performing better than I ought to let them. But I honestly didn't really like attack this flank that well. It kind of just went in. But you know what? Now that I clicked on them the second time, they're actually doing quite poorly. So it's like maybe their positive performance was just like a little temporary thing, you know? Yeah, I want these like Sika skirmishers to be like more over here. Like I want them to be able to outflank the short swords. Although the short swords, they're already shaken and they've lost a lot of men and those numbers will dwindle. These guys have 1 armor, so... Okay, now that I think about it, they're an ideal target for my Falx because they just don't have any defense against their long hooked weapons. Well, my Falxmen will just charge in quite plainly, but I don't know, maybe we are losing too many men here. Nori, they're inflicting far more casualties than I'm comfortable with. See, some Falxmen have gone chewed to pieces, and it's not like we've already defeated the Nori. Still have men left. Still have the capacity to ruin more Dacian warriors so they can't fight anymore. But should be the climax here of this petite little battle. There we go. Goodbye. Goodbye and good night. An easy victory for us. But honestly, it do be a little bit sad. Do be a little bit sad here. Because look at some of these Falxmen, right? These are our hard hitters. These are the centerpiece of our army, the primary killing machine of the Dacians. And they got pretty mauled here. They got pretty mauled. We do have 8 armor, no shields, no block chance. They get killed really easily. Although they kill a lot very quickly as well. And in this battle, we did a lot of both. A lot of both. It didn't quite work out. Didn't quite work out. But alas, this Nori army has a very difficult decision to make. Do they turn around and fight against the... What are these guys called? The Swebi, who are taking their capital? Or do they try to jump on me? Frankly, we don't have a lot of good options there, but... sort of options that they possess. See, are there any enhanced recruitment options now? Yeah, with this they do.
Are you ready to do your duty to the tribe?
I'm surprised though. Like, why do we have all these recruitment options now? Like, these are late Getae spears, late archers. Must be this, but like this building's in disrepair, so why is it usable right now? I think that's a glitch. I think if I try to recruit like any of these other units, it won't work. I'm pretty sure it won't, because it shouldn't. But yeah, now we're at war with like 4 factions simultaneously. It's a little bit rough on paper, but I don't believe that the majority of these guys can actually attack me, so not too worried. Not too worried at all. Okay, well, turn's over. Kinda just go on to the next one and see what the Nori do. It's really up to them how they want to handle their ensnarement here. Again, either we go and fight the Swebby, which honestly that probably would be a very good decision to make. Because the Swebby, they're besieging a settlement, meaning that...
We will come for you.
Oh.
In the night.
Oh, not another faction. I'm not surprised, but it's not good news. Luckily, I do have a second army still in the field. They're not really committed to anything, so... I guess we can move them. Guess we can. I don't know. Whatever choice do I have, right? I can move them south, have them face the RDA. It's not like the RDA are a powerhouse. They have pretty mediocre units, but honestly, they have Sickas as well. They have a lot of similarly styled units to us.
The mission is done. Well done.
Okay.
Our people's interests are advanced.
Got a little bit of money from that mission. That's good.
Ready for orders.
And the Nori decide to do nothing, which is an option 3 I did not anticipate.
Are you?
The Nori don't seem to like
Do not
me.
attempt to
The Boei,
welcome.
nobody wants to even consider
Do
a
not
peace.
attempt to sweeten truth.
Wait a minute.
What?
Why did these guys
Peace?
declare war?
When your skulls are as yet unstacked,
Eh?
your women
Come
have
on,
yet
come
to
on,
kill
come on.
themselves in despair.
Okay, but it seems like their declaration of war was actually an opportunistic attempt to exploit me. Oh, dude, the Dricians are going ham. That's lit, dude. That's actually really good. It's actually really good. I'm very happy that they're beating back the Macedonians, because the last thing I want to fight are the stupid Macedonians. Okay, let's just go ahead and... Yeah, we'll just make this as public order savvy as possible. The RDA, we can...
Gods of the afterlife, spare my arse. Well, why do you trouble my day? Peace.
I could pay
peace.
6,000.
I laugh at your peace. I cannot stop.
How about
your
7,500?
cowardice. Your people will have peace when they are all stacked on.
There we go.
It is a good thing, for it allows men a little rest. Well done for this treaty.
Enter, friend, and speak. We surely have...
Okay, not too bad then. Because I really wanted this army to head north in order to face off against these Boei scoundrels also.
To work then.
Okay, Boei are not really poised to attack me, which is obviously a good thing. I'm thinking here's we just go to war, we just beat this, and then stream over. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking here. So I'm just watching these guys stand around here, and this is like literally the death of the Nori faction if we manage to win this battle. Once we win this one, there really isn't like a ton left of that alliance that we triggered. Like, sure, in Raieta and Noricum, there are the Helvetii and stuff in the Raieta, but they're so far away from us. They're on, like, the other side of the Alps, basically. It's not like they're gonna march over all the way to Panonia at 5e. There's no way. They'd have to, like, violate so many other territories. And they're right next to the Romans, who so we can't necessarily, like, leave their homes and just be completely exposed to the Romans. let's kind of just roll out here. The thing is that we're the aggressors, so I anticipate the enemy is just gonna stand gawking at me. So I know I can just kind of assemble my men up. We're gonna have our typical formation: Falcons in the front, Sika skirmishers in the back, and a solid line so their javelins get expended wholly. I'm gonna have my spear nobles standing in the back this time, just so they can kind of be this solid little residual backbone. But you can see these are basically Celtic hoplites. These guys stand in a solid shield wall. They have solid armament. Can't really rush them head first, actually. You know what? Now, against this type of foe, I don't think the Falc's front is actually going to work at all. Now that I look at it, it's like, it's really bad. So what we can do here is have my Falxmen spread out more on the flank, and then send the Sika skirmishers forward and just pelt the enemy extensively with javelins. We can have my kind of spear nobles stand in the back, and they can engage the enemy spears. Not frontally super successfully, but they can kind of trade blows with them passively just to keep the enemy spears from breaking through, while my Falxmen, they should be able to demolish the axemen and the swordsmen on the enemy flanks. So that's really my hope. But yeah, as the enemy, we're gonna see that I'm really out of position here, so yeah, looks like the Celts are gonna try to exploit me a little bit here. But my lines are hurriedly assembling. We're making okayish time. Problems that I just don't see past this tree line. It's obscuring my vision a little bit too much, I can tell you. Not whatever. Enemy cavalry, they do a funny and they just charge in. Looks like there is ample opportunity to charge in here. Falxman killed a couple of cavalrymen over here. Again, Sika skirmishers, they're just throwing their javelins en masse. So many good targets. These naked sellswords. I just need to go ahead and send some Sika skirmishers in to go fight against these naked barbarians. Send some Falxmen. Give these men some justice.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Looks like we really did a number on some of these guys, dude. Because those naked warriors that charged by center were losing to the Sika skirmisher in combat, which said a lot, man. Sika skirmishers, they're not terrible, but they're not great either.
One of our units
Pretty meh. Okay, we'll go ahead. We'll go charge the rear of that naked sword. Right, I'm seeing a lot of weakness here on the right flank. And, ooh, these short swords has got a hard charge from a bustling Falxman. I love it when my Falxmen just crunch in and they just get 30 kills on the charge. It is so nice. This cavalry, they shouldn't enjoy facing my Falxmen. That's all I'm gonna say. Thundering of hooves fills my ears. My cavalry's arrived. I mean, I see very few units on the field for the enemy besides the occasional archer and the occasional. Not occasional, but just a huge amount of spearmen. Which, well, spearmen, while they're very strong, they're highly immobile. They have to stay in that blocky formation that they're in to be effective. And they're rather slow moving in these shield walls. Which is precisely why I've surrounded the enemy general. And we were just around him with his billhooks, just pulling apart his phalanx. Killing his elite followers, his retainers, man by man. My general is being crushed. The enemy general, he's gonna pop off very soon. Gonna pass into the afterlife. And with that, we should be able to scare off the rest of his men. After all, being without a leader, not the easiest thing, you know. Not the easiest thing, if I'm gonna be completely honest. But let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens. If he's Getae Falxman right in the rear, we can push them.
The enemy general is dead.
Enemy general is dead. That's beautiful. And yeah, the battle fell right into place as I hoped it would. The Alpine shield wall disintegrates before the overwhelming might and flexibility of the Falx. And my Sika skirmishers, they were on the field where I needed them, and they got their javelins off beautifully. So many kills on such otherwise mediocre units. In fact, some of the Sika skirmishers did far better than my Falxmen. The cavalry, they were effective at chasing routing units, and of course causing morale panic. My noble spears barely saw any combat at all, but I don't exactly want to expend my noble population so cavalierly, so it makes sense that they would fight little. But yeah, those enemy naked swords are actually pretty decent troops. Like, they're okay. They're okay troops, so I'm happy that we managed to best them without too many problems. And there we have it. We can go ahead, cut them to shreds, do this little guy, cut them down, and bam! Bam, bam, bam. And I think that's going to be it for the stream, guys. I mean, we've made quite a bit of progress. We've conquered our second province, of course. Sure, we're at war with a variety of factions, but I don't fear those factions, and I think that we're strategically in a good position to fight it. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I see you next time. This is Historica Gaming, signing